What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Alison Moyet. And once again, big shout out to Seb for sharing her material. We're continuing through her 1987 album Raindancing, and the next track is called Without You. It's a straightforward sentiment, the idea of another person not being present, but the context and the emotional sentiment around it remains ambiguous, meaning it could be a loving relationship and the person is saying, I can't imagine a life without you. You know, a life in which you were no longer a central part of my life would be so alien and impossible to imagine. I can't even think of what it would look like. And obviously there's an implication there of an emotional attachment. But it could also be, you know, now that I'm without you, this is how I'm feeling, crestfallen, brokenhearted, or, you know, perhaps the opposite, perhaps feeling confident and independent and free once again. It could be a relationship that's ongoing, but maybe they're taking a break, and so it's, you know, now that I feel what it's like to be without you, it reminds me or makes me realize how much I need what we have. So a simple phrase indicating the lack of someone's presence in another person's life could go a number of different ways, and the emotional attitude toward it could be quite different. So let's find out. This is Alison Moyet, Without You, from her 1987 album Raindancing. Oh. Sounds almost a bit country in that pop. Write this about Vince? Probably not, right? Couldn't we just laugh about it? Do we have to let it come between us? I never meant to go this far. I don't believe what I just said. I had one drink too many. I think it's time I went to bed. Tell me the prayer on TV. Like, it's not straight away. It's like, I'm not gonna beg after you or beg you to come back, but you wouldn't want me to do that anyway, something to that effect. And her ultimate, that's the ultimate sentiment, right? Like, life's too short for this nonsense. Like, let's make it work. Couldn't we just talk about it? Do we have to let it come between us? This time we won't face the facts. I'm not begging to come back. I don't believe you want me to. I know I'm not good enough. Just answer for power. I love that moment. So there's tonal shift. Oh yeah. That moment, which I guess is like the post-chorus, like interlude. Both times that moment hit nice. So yeah, a very energetic song, which it wasn't like overly brokenhearted or pain, but it was strained and stressed. Like, why are we doing this? Why do we fight like this? You know, we're wasting time, our precious little time that we have, that we could be, you know, having good connections and good moments, you know, fighting. But also, again, it seems a very complicated thing where it sounds like he's gone and, you know, she is without him, but she doesn't really want to beg him to come back, and even if she did, she's pretty sure that he wouldn't be sympathetic to that anyway. So yeah, complicated, it sounds like, both physically or situationally and emotionally. And yeah, again, I said it as a half joke, and I have little suspicion that this actually relates to like her relationship with Vince, but a couple of the lines are making me think about what I've heard and to a lesser extent read about the way their relationship fell out, where like they had this underlying personality conflict and he didn't really want to deal with it because he's, you know, sort of like, you know, has sort of reserved mannerisms and so on, and he's not someone to be like a, you know, clashing, like strident sort of person. But she wanted to hash it out, and so she kept kind of, you know, being very direct and confrontational about it, and that just like, you know, led to them like going farther and farther apart. So again, I have little thought that this actually relates to that, but there were a couple lines there that made me think about that. And this is, you know, a few years later, she's doing her solo work. Vince is now making music with Erasure, and, you know, seems to have found a singing partner who, you know, fits the way the, you know, his dynamic fits better. So ultimately, I couldn't help but think of that. So even though I didn't say it seriously, you know, I think there's some lines there, which again, it speaks to the way in which the semantics of any song or the meaning of any song will exceed the literal semantics on the page for any given person based on their own experiences, things they've read or learned about the artist. Like, all sorts of factors go into the way that lyrics hit people. So as I've always said, you know, I do think there is, on some level, a dialogue between listener and artist, and this is another one where that's clearly the case. Nevertheless, I did enjoy it, and it was a very energetic tune. It was one of those ones that feels like there's some pain, but the Sonics, you know, would seek to sort of gloss over that, or like, you know, it's almost like it's busy to distract from the frustrating situation at hand. So I enjoyed the way the Sonics fit in a complicated way with the themes as I heard them. Do let me know what you think of this one. Once more, shout out to Seb. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.